Unveiled TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Yes, welcome to Man Unveiled, right here, the city center, the capital city of this great nation. We are right here at Kenya Cinema Plaza, and we are grateful that you have chosen to join us tonight. This is one of your shows. I told you when we started, this is a show that you own. If it were not for you waiting for us there, we couldn't have this show. I'm your host, Joe Wisdom. Man Unveiled is here with us. We say, it takes a man to get the best out of another man. And we are here with some other men who want to get the best out of you as a man. This is that men fight many battles. And there are so many battles that are there today. They are in our society today. There are so many battles that men are fighting. And it can only take another man to get a man out of the trenches. We have seen people rehabilitate others. We have seen other people, even raise others. In fact, even from debt. I remember there was a time I was so down, but God used two men who gave me life.
Right.
Threw me back to business, and today I stand. I thank God for those men. God bless you wherever you are.
Amen.
It takes a man to get the best out of them. Some of the things we say here are very practical. We say that we don't come here to give theories. We come here to share practical wisdom. We call it phronesis. You can write there phronesis, practical wisdom.
Yeah.
And we are joined here by good friends of mine who are here to share with us phronesis, practical wisdom. Apostle Charles.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Very fine.
Yes, sir.
I want to say good evening, viewers, and thank you, Apostle Joe, for hosting us this evening as we delve into the matters of men, the balancing act.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Maybe you can say hi. I know some of your relatives. So please say hi to them.
Yeah, let me take this opportunity to greet my beloved family, my wife, my 3 sons and daughter, and the Talk Ministries, the church, and the bigger body of ABC family that we belong to. We say good evening and welcome to the show. Welcome all men to this wonderful interaction tonight. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you even for being there for us and choosing this time to come and share your wisdom. I honor you, sir.
Thank you.
Because of what you carry. And every time I reach out and you tell me, Apostle Joe, I'll be coming, it has always been very humbling. So I want to appreciate you tonight.
Thank you.
For being there for this show. Man Unveiled could not be what it is, were it not for your support.
Thank you.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir.
Pastor Peter the Rock.
Yes, sir.
All the way from Ruaka.
Yes.
How have you been?
I've been doing well. It's been a minute, but we are always in touch. I really thank God for you,
Yes, sir.
for allowing God to use you to have us here and also to speak to our fellow men. Like you always say, it takes a man to understand another man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the perspective of a man is different from a woman. When we share wisdom, we sharpen each other's men. So tonight we have another opportunity to talk to our fellow men. It's not that we are better than you, but it's just an opportunity that God has given us to share our experiences and the wisdom that God has given us over the few duration that we have worked with God and we have been men, So Pastor Rock here from Ruaka, Life City Chapel. That is Igasharage Junction. I greet all of you, my sons and daughters in ministry, my family, my wife, my daughters, always watching and excited to see me on television, I remember those years there was no television in our home, so we used to watch in our neighbor.
Yes. On the shopping center.
I'm telling you, so our kids are blessed. As much as we are fighting out here as men, we have battles that we are fighting. We are in a better place in our generation that our children, you know, they have certain things that we did not have when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So we really thank God for that.
Wow. I want to agree with you that we are not here because we are the best.
Yeah.
Right.
It's only that we are on duty. Someone say that we are not the tallest. It's only that we are on duty.
Yeah, so that we'll not look down on our fellow men. you know.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, in Man Unveiled, we don't despise any man.
Yes.
We honor. With your weaknesses, with your strengths, we honor every man. We say this show, we build you. We are here to build you as a man. So don't feel judged. Feel appreciated. And there's something that you carry that no one else has.
Yes.
That unique selling point. I call it USP. That is your unique selling point. When you identify that, you develop wings.
Thank you.
Apostle Charles,
Yes, sir.
we are talking about the balancing act.
Yes.
And I know you as a very dynamic person. In fact, amongst some of my few friends that I have, because I don't have so many friends, you are one of the dynamic leaders I've come across.
Right.
Very dynamic, that you are in ministry and offering the good time for ministry. You are in the marketplace. And I also know you as a great family man, that I can attest to our viewers.
Right.
How are you? Just help us understand. How do you balance these things?
Thank you,
Yes,
Apostle Joe. First, let me begin by acknowledging that all this is by the grace of God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And like my fellow minister said, that not that we are better than others,
Yes.
it's just that God has given us an opportunity. Again, let me appreciate what you have both said about men.
Yes.
Men are precious.
Thank you.
Men are very special beings.
Yeah.
And we say that a child is born, but a son is given.
Yes. Wow.
Meaning, a child is general,
Yeah.
but a son, a man,
Yes.
is given.
Yes.
It's a gift.
Yes. Wow.
So when a boy is born in a home, there are many things that happen. There are celebrations. And because that person is a great sign of leadership, or a sign of hope, a sign of possibilities and opportunities that comes to a home. I want to say this. A man or a human being is a composite.
Yes.
He has several interrelated facets of life, like you have mentioned, family, ministry, marketplace or business or occupation.
Yes.
And everyone has an opportunity to engage in all of them. Then there's the need therefore for balance. So that is why we are engaging on this conversation tonight. So from my perspective, the issue of balance I would first of all look at it from the Word of God. A very interesting scripture in the book of 1 Thessalonians 5:23-24 says that now may the God of peace sanctify you through and through, your spirit, soul, and body, that you may be blameless at the appearing of Jesus Christ. And then goes on to say, faithful is he who has called you and is able to do it.
Wow.
Those words tell me something, that a human being, a man, is designed to be complete, to be whole, spirit, soul, and body. In that, let me say this before I allow you to continue and say, for me to acquire balance for other things, I must first of all be balanced.
Wow, that's true.
I cannot have an ability to balance anything outside if I don't have internal equilibrium. That means I must be internally, personally made whole. That is my spiritual life, my soul, my emotions, and my body.
Wow.
And when those things are in place, now I can be able now to be able to engage on the outside and now perform in a good way. There's the issue which will be discussed as we move on, priorities and moving forward as we discuss. But first and foremost, it is important to first and foremost be balanced internally.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. It begins from the inside.
Yes.
I love what one philosopher said. He said that great things are not those which men see with great askance, but the innate things in oneself.
Yes, yes.
So that the great things are not the things we see out there.
Right.
And it's like, wow. But great things are the things that are deeply inside us. That internal equilibrium.
Yes.
That balance that is in the inside. You know, they say that that if you want to know how a man thinks, you look at the way he walks.
Yes.
Because even the walking...
It's true, Apostle Joe. The scripture says you can tell a fool by the way he walks from afar.
Yeah. So there are men who just walk so slowly, just because that's the way they think.
You attacked. It's okay.
I don't know, I'm attacking. There are others who are very fast.
Yeah.
In fact, that's also how they think. There are people who think very fast.
Yes.
But the surprising thing is that those who walk very slowly, most of them are geniuses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well calculated, you know.
Well calculated moves.
Right. Yes.
So you can continue writing to us. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and right on your screens. Continue writing to us. Continue engaging us. Let us know where you are enjoying this show from. In case you have a question, you can pin it right there. In case you hear a point that blesses, you can pin it right there. Let others get to know what you have gotten. Pastor Rock.
Yeah.
Now, the balancing act.
Yes.
I know you are coming from a journey. You know now Pastor Rock is my peer.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know the battles we are fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have young families. We are young fathers. How are you able to balance? Because there are a lot of demands.
Yeah.
Ministry demands a lot of your time. You know the people we are pastoring are young families as well.
Yeah.
A lot of some issues here and there. Just even before you take supper, you have received a call. You need to do 1 hour counseling. Your family is waiting for you to take supper together. How do you balance these things up?
This is a serious matter. But
Yes.
let's begin here. It all begins with God.
Yes.
It all begins with God. Thinking about God is God with demonstrating different dimensions.
Yeah.
How he's able to handle. He's a father. He's a husband to the widows.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
when you need him as a provider, he's there.
Yeah.
When you are going through tough times, you know, you will respond
Yeah.
depending on your need. So it all begins with God. It's very difficult to balance without God
Okay.
because a man is not enough
Yeah.
without God.
Yes, Mika.
You're not sufficient without God.
You are not all sufficient.
That's what we say in church. Our confession is that I am not sufficient without God. So, Father, I receive your grace
Yes.
that I may abide in all good works. As a man, it begins with God. Christ in you is able to help you balance because humanly speaking is very difficult. Very difficult. Like you said, I'm a young father. And you know, life is a bit expensive now.
Yes.
When we were growing up, it was a bit different in the village and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We are in town. So as a man, you are expected to provide, to be there for your children, and to be there for your wife, to be there as a pastor, to be there as a brother to somebody,
Wow.
to be there as a friend to someone. So how do you balance all this and not fail as a man? Because the easiest thing to do is to put a blame and say, you know, this thing is difficult, so you let it go and you let guards down. So it begins with God. But having said it begins with God, now it comes to number one, accepting that you're not sufficient.
Yes.
So you are depending on God. Number two, being intentional.
Yes.
I think balancing must be intentional.
Wow.
It does not happen automatic. It will never happen. So you have to be intentional as a man to know that there are expectations from different, from different people that are surrounding you, different responsibilities. So when you now become intentional, priority now comes in.
Yes.
So where do you begin? What do you handle at this time? You're needed at home, yet they also need some food.
Yes.
So how do you balance all this? So be intentional. Number two, prioritize.
Wow.
That means time, being a good manager. Because one of the things that makes God God
Yes.
is the ability to manage.
Wow.
So a man should be a manager, and you cannot be a manager if you're not intentional and you're not engaging time. So for you to balance, you must be specific about time. At this time I will be doing this. At this time I will be doing this. So this that require me at this time will not take this time.
Wow.
So be specific. You wake up before, for example, for me, before I sleep, I must pray for my kids.
Yes.
Because I grew up, my dad was not very available. So I made a decision. I'm very intentional in being there as a father to my daughters, because I know out of experience as a pastor and through research what happens when a father is not there for his kids. So I'm intentional. So in the evening, because I'm intentional, I'll make sure I get home before they sleep. But if I'm not intentional, then something will keep me, like ministry, because that is the greatest temptation. Anybody who is a pastor will tell you it's not easy. You know, a pastor is married to church, and also to the wife.
Yes.
So a pastor handles like 2 women actually.
Yes.
Church, you know, the commitment of a church actually is so serious. So that's why every pastor has a battle. If you're married and you're a pastor, you will agree there's a battle between your wife and the church.
Yes.
Because chances are you give yourself to the church more than your wife. Not forgetting.
There's that temptation.
There's that temptation, not forgetting the church is Christ.
Is someone's bride.
Is someone's bride. So you have to be very intentional, Apostle John.
Wow. You must be intentional, and it all starts with God.
Yes.
That God is able to balance. Can you imagine the things that God handles? Look at even how He balanced the world. There's a place for water. There's a place for dry land. The mountain in their place. The valleys. I think God is the foundation of the balancing act. And I think we should take after Him.
Right.
Apostle Charles.
Yes.
Are men really busy, or they pretend to be busy? Because tell me, before you get there.
Yes.
How comes that this man is employed in a government institution?
Right.
Government office.
Yes.
8 to 5.
Right.
But this man gets to his house at 11 or 1. Where was he?
Definitely, Apostle Joe. That means there's something that also Peter mentioned about priorities.
Yes.
It looks like there is another priority between his job and his family. There is another priority in between, which could be friends, can be football or pool, or the social events, or a sense of how men sometimes respond to some crisis in the home is to withdraw or to delay or to be away, to keep away, which is not an accurate way of dealing with things. It is better to face them head on. For example, maybe you are stuck, there are needs at home, and you are feeling that if I go home without, I'll have questions to answer. My wife, my child, so let me wait for them to sleep. And I get home. And you know, in that way, it simply means there's a disconnect between your responsibility, your priorities, and what you have engaged yourself to do. So I would say, in a nutshell, your family knows where you're employed and where you're working. How comes in the morning it takes you a shorter time to get to the office? Because the boss wants you there before 7, and you'll be there very in time. But to get home, it takes you 5 hours. There's something that is not adding up. So it simply means there is a disconnect between what you value in that regard. I want to say this to men. A cardinal role as family heads, even without providing, is to be present. as he said.
Wow.
Just being present makes a very big difference.
Wow.
And that is one call for men. Be present there with your family, whether it is there or not. By you being present, you allow God also to use you to mold your children. You connect with them, you build relationships, because again, there is no value in working out there, men who call themselves or who are said to be successful, and I say quote unquote,
Yes.
you are succeeding in business, but your children are going astray, or they are getting lost in this and the other. Others are lonely, depressed, crying out for help and companionship, but you're nowhere to be found. So that dimension of men is critical. Even now, practically, children are going through the rite of passage. Where are their fathers?
Yeah.
Some of them are nowhere to be found, or they are being sought for now because they are required to consent and to kind of give some fatherly guidance.
Yes.
So men, let us be present for our families.
Wow. You know, I was interacting with a certain family, and sometimes back, and the man was saying, she keep telling me to come early. You know, she in the morning she doesn't even want me to leave the house. Now will we sit here and die?
It's a valid question.
And you see, the man will also say that the fact that the wife is insisting that he should come early, he says that even when I've not gone to work, she'll still make demands, and I have not left the house. She still say that there's no this, there's no that. Is the weight of a man too heavy? Is the burden too weighty that a man is getting too much busy out there or doing so many things to make sure that things are happening in the family? Pastor Rock.
I think we need to, as much as we are talking to our fellow men, if you have a family, it's important to sit down your family, because you are the leader, and agree on certain matters. There must, two can't work together unless they agree.
Yes.
So you must sit down your wife and your kids and say, guys, let's talk. Beginning with your wife. Now, this is it. I know you need me, and I also need you.
Yes.
These kids need us. But then, don't demand extremely, whereby one thing will affect the other. So once you agree that I must go work, and this is what it entails, concerning my work.
Yes.
Be open and let your wife know that you work from this time to this time. Let your kids know you work from this time to this time. Now, I'm talking to people, to the marketplace people, but as a pastor, sometimes it's very tricky. Very tricky. But though very tricky, you have to be very intentional again. So let your wife know you work from this time to this time. So your wife should not expect you 6 in the evening, while you're coming from work, and she knows you, with traffic and all that, by 8 you'll be home, depending on your work.
Yeah.
And again, now, if you have agreed, you will not have excuses why you came 12 in the morning.
Some of them don't even explain.
Now that's where the challenge is.
And you know what they say?
Yeah.
How do I explain where I'm coming from? And I'm coming to my house.
No, it's not just your house. If you're married and you have kids, it's not just your house.
Yeah.
It's, if you want your house, be single.
Yeah. Right.
Remain single, be a bachelor. You have to be accountable. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Because even to God, it begins with God. So there are checks and balances, so that you don't become you don't become a god to your family. Remember this family, as much as you are the head, there is the high priest.
Yes.
Yes.
The
You are
high
the priest.
authority.
Yes, you are the priest over your house, but
There's a high priest.
There is a high priest who is Christ. So you are not just bullying your family that you have to do this. You know, you can't tell me what time I should come. No. If you are married, then you must agree and accept to be accountable.
Right.
Wow.
So let us agree this is the time, this is the nature of my work, so that there is no conflict between you and your wife and your kids.
Wow.
So that you also talk to your kids, let them know.
Yes.
Let them know so that they don't expect something that you're not able to do.
To deliver.
And the reason why some men are breaking down is because we are not talking.
Oh.
And it is an attack. Because one of the assignment of the enemy is to keep you quiet, not to talking. And you know the challenge is the negative effect that comes with not talking are very serious. That's why when you go quiet on your family, on your wife, that gap, there are no gaps actually. We say in the realm of the spirit, there should be no gaps. So when you keep quiet, the devil comes and fills that gap. You're not telling your wife this is the nature of marriage, because some men don't want to be accountable. Their wives don't know what how much they earn, what kind of job. There is a woman somewhere who doesn't know what their husband does.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So now you will have battles that are very unnecessary. Very unnecessary, and you create gaps for the enemy to attack your home. So be open to your family.
Wow.
Talk to them, and you will avoid all these things.
Wonderful.
Wow. Openness. Openness. Accountability. These are the words that are in this show tonight. That you must be open, you must be accountable. Being open means that it's good if your wife knows what you do. You know, it's good to note that some men live like suspects in their own house. Their wives, their children don't know what they do. In fact, if their kids were asked what their father do in school, they will say, babangu anafanya kazi balibali, because they don't know.
Very dangerous.
They don't know what their father does. And that's detrimental when it comes even to succession.
Yes.
Because you never know what this person owns. You don't know who you can call.
Right.
You don't know who, you know, if he gets late, you don't even know who you can ask or where he's whereabouts. So accountability is important, and let us also communicate. Let us be open in some of these issues. This is not a stranger you are working with. You are working with your partner.
Yes.
Someone who was not forced to you. You got them into your house. Sometimes you have even paid dowry. We had that discussion the other day, or you took gifts.
Yeah.
So it's not someone you have been forced to have in your life. Let us be open.
Yeah.
I want us to go for a break, but we are coming back, and as we always say, we'll get deeper into this conversation. God bless you. See you.
Looking for a school that provides a solid foundation for your little one? Lozi Christian School is now admitting children from 2 to 6 years old from January 2025. At Lozi Christian School, we understand that every child is unique. Our qualified and experienced teachers ensure that each child gets the personalized attention they need. Our beautiful classrooms are designed to stimulate learning and spark curiosity, offering a rich environment that caters to every child's developmental stage. And we provide balanced meals, snacks, and lunch to keep your little one healthy and energized throughout the day. With a Christian approach, we focus on the holistic growth of every child. Give your child the start of a strong start in life with a school that truly cares. Enroll today. Don't miss this opportunity to give your child the best start. Visit us off Kasarani Moiki Road or call us now at +254 758 396 110. Lozi Christian School, a foundation for the future.
Welcome back to Man Unveiled. We are right here looking at this discussion, the balancing act. And we want to know, how do you balance as a man? Family issues, family life, the economy of your family, that is the marketplace or business. How do you also balance, the aspect of, like for our guests here, they are also ministers, ministry.
Right.
How do you get to balance all these things? We have seen places where a man gets married. He used to have a life. And right now he's a married man, he has a family. And the family, the extended family cannot understand. Why our son not coming home the way he used to? And the enemy now becomes the daughter-in-law. She is the one making our son not to come home.
Yes,
And I can tell you there are such battles in our families.
exactly.
How do we strike a balance that we still, because people have expectations out there.
Yeah.
That regardless of whatever is happening in your life, they still need you to create time for them. You still need time for friends. You need time for ministry. Do you know, Apostle Charles, because I want you to share with us, that there are also young men and husbands who are being blamed in their homes, that they spend all their time in church.
Exactly.
They are there in morning prayer,
Yes.
lunch hour they are there, evening sacrifice.
Yes. Thank you so much, Apostle Joe.
Yes, sir.
And I think as we are talking about a man being complete spirit, soul, and body,
Yes, sir.
we are graced that we have a mind. We have a faculty that advises us on what decisions to make.
Yes, sir.
So in the act of balancing, we therefore have a choice and an opportunity or a privilege to draw our lines. Because balancing means simply then, if I have 3 or 4 items, then I have to keep them in check. I have to pay attention to all of them as required. So we cannot be overly spiritual at the expense of all other things. I think that is not correct. And maybe even is a misplaced kind of thinking that being in the church the whole day makes you more holier or you are serving more. Actually, you go to church to be equipped to go and serve out in the marketplace. So the concept of being in and I have to balance that because we are ministers.
Yes.
We have to be careful. We are the ones who call for the meetings.
Yes.
And at the same time, we want you to bring a tithe.
Yes.
We want you to bring an offering. So when did you work? So we have to balance that. And in that regard, then, we must have limits, know how far you can go. Going back to the issue of the young man who is being blamed at home, or the wife is being blamed from the time she got married.
Yes.
Our son is no longer
Himself.
He's no longer himself. They may even use other words. Yes. Which are not fit for us to mention here. But what does that mean? It simply means there's a breakdown in communication.
Yeah.
The young man was not able to tell or inform his environment. From now, mom, dad, my brother and sister, this and these are my requirements. I will support you this way. I have to take care of my family this way. The second thing, out of knowing your limits, I see this very important for ministers. If we are raising other ministers, then we should know what to delegate and what to ride on. We cannot be everywhere. If you are everywhere and you want to be omnipresent, then one, you are either insecure or you have not been able to raise people to assist you. So you must be able to delegate some responsibilities. Otherwise, you'll be crushed by weights of everything else. Yeah, I think that's important.
Well, I think I like that point. I think I like the point of delegation, because you cannot be the alpha and omega of everything that happens, even at home, or in your ministry.
Yeah.
You cannot be everywhere in general and nowhere in particular. You must learn to delegate.
Yes.
Acknowledge other people's strengths.
Yeah.
Put them where they belong. That will make your work easier as a man. Pastor Rock.
Yes, sir.
The balancing act. Now, as a minister and as a father. Now, how do you handle, this is very practical, how do you handle that this is the time, this is the family time. You are just about to take your family for an outing, and you have promised them the whole week. We are going out, you are going to know that your father is not just mark timing on earth, he's making some progress, and
Yeah.
you are going to give them a treat. But before you even ignite your car, you receive a call from,
A member.
not even use a member,
Fred.
someone who knows you as a pastor, and they are telling you, huyu mtu ataniua, please pastor come. How do you respond to that?
Where?
There's a crisis in another family,
Yeah.
and your family is here waiting for you, something that you have promised the longest time.
I think one of the as a man of God, I've found myself in a scenario where trying to solve somebody else's problems.
Yes.
I created a problem in my home.
Right.
It
Absolutely.
happens.
And that happens a lot. So I would take this approach. Number one, we need to develop the leadership skills in us, because every man has an aspect of leadership.
Yes.
So the only thing that is required is to work on it, to sharpen and become a better leader. Because all these things, balancing requires leadership. It can't just happen without developing yourself to become a leader. Because like the man of God was saying, for you to delegate, you must have a leadership mindset.
Wow.
So you can't raise somebody if you're not a leader. Because now you if you're not a leader, you handle everything. You don't know the exact place where you can raise somebody else to take
And trust them.
yeah, trust them. So I've created a problem in my home, solving somebody else's problem, and this is a challenge of every leader actually.
Yes.
Not even just a pastor.
Yeah, he's a leader.
You know, a pastor is a leader in church, in a community, in the marketplace. We have leaders.
Yes.
So you agree with me? Even trying to solve a business problem, you created a problem in your home.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things we need to accept is that a problem in your home has more negative effect than a problem in your business
Wow. Or even ministry.
or even ministry.
Yes.
Because when your home has a problem, you can't be effective in your area when you're having a problem in your home.
Wow.
And this is where many men are breaking down, because the energy, the backup you get from home, the support you get from home, you can't get it anywhere else. No friend,
Wow.
no colleague that can give you the support that you get from your home. The other day we saw what happened in our nation, and we saw one of the things that came out is that the family was out there to stand with this leader.
Yes.
So be very radical
Wow.
when you're confronted by choices. You know, mostly as we are growing up, and and I've made these mistakes many times. As I'm talking to you, my fellow men, I've made mistakes. That's one of the things we need to accept, that we make mistakes. But making a mistake is not really a mistake, but repeating.
Yes.
And many times we keep repeating, and we inflict, pain in our family. So be very radical when a situation arises where, you need to choose between your family and something else.
And others.
And others, because actually it is others. Every other thing is secondary.
Yes.
The primary purpose is your family.
Wow.
So as a man of God, as a leader out there, when you're called for a business,
Engagement.
engagement, and your children knew that we are going somewhere, be radical. Sometimes I teach leaders and I say sometimes we are required to make very radical choices. Now, considering a business can go and you can get another one. I mean, you can grow another one. If your family is broken, losing a business, you have not lost everything. Losing your family, you have lost everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if really men in our generation realize that how important a family is. A man without a family is a very confused fellow.
Those are very dangerous statements you are making.
Very confused. I'm telling you. You may not know it. But the reality is a man without... And actually, some men actually have families, but they behave and they live like they don't have. So we are taking casual, and we are going to suffer in the future out of assumptions and taking casually something like family. And you know, it is, I see it this way, man of God, is an attack, especially in our generation. Our fathers were very serious about family. Some of them were even not born again, but they were very particular and very intentional about their families. But we are taking so casually in our times family. I mean, inaweza kuwa, inaweza isikue. You understand? So out of that, now we are making mistakes to choose our businesses, to choose our careers. That also includes even some women choosing your career out, you know, in the place of your family. And the day you are fired or something happens, you don't have a place to go.
You go back to your family and later it's not there. Maybe Apostle Charles, there is this question that men will keep asking, because you cannot separate a man. You are a businessman.
Yes.
And I know for a fact that you are a good businessman. You cannot separate a man and a business deal.
Yes.
Because in fact, the African way of doing business is deals.
It's deals.
We handle deals. Kuna deal fulani. Now, this is what is happening.
Yes.
You are supposed to possibly take your family for a vacation.
Yes.
And it's a promise you have made, the same question. And in this case, you have answered as a leader and as a biased, as a minister. I want you to address it as a businessman.
Money.
Money, and from that perspective.
Money and
yes.
family.
So you have been invited. You have been you are going for a vacation with your family, and they have been anticipating this would happen.
Yes.
With huge expectation. But again, a client calls, and you are in properties.
Yes.
They need to see this property, and they want you to. And you know you have a deficit in the budget for the vacation.
Right.
How do you handle it?
Thank you, Apostle Joe.
Yes, sir.
I really concur and co-sign to what Pastor Peter said, that you have to make radical choices and decisions. And in such cases, if the deal is genuine,
yes,
maybe that will make me digress. But I would want to tell you,
yes,
any deal that we make, we men, that cannot wait is dangerous. You are likely being conned, and you can easily be defrauded.
Can you say that again, facing this camera? Because anytime you are being called, you are always in a hurry.
Yes.
Say that again.
Any deal that cannot wait, that has no time, is likely a deal that will lead you into a trench.
Wow.
If you have ever been conned, like I have been, those deals are normally very hot, and they require you to move with money quickly, and at the end of it, you will cry.
You lose them.
You will cry what they call premium tears because of acting irrationally, out of impetuousness, and irrationally because of the sound of the money.
Yes.
Back to the family. If I am going to choose a business deal above my family, then I've begun to fail.
Oh.
And I think the act of balancing also requires discipline.
Wow.
Maybe that's something we could have put there. Discipline. If it is, we are going towards Christmas, and you have been talking about the whole year with your family, that come this date, 20 this date, we will do this and this and the other. For me to break that accord with the family, already I'm defiling the first church.
Wow.
Because we're told our first church is our family.
Family, yes.
So if I cannot honor a word to my family, then already even the ministry out there is not authentic. So without being very hard to everybody, because sometimes things come,
Yeah.
but it is always good to make the right decision.
Wow.
Let me give you a practical example.
Yes, sir.
While we were in the waiting, the reception here, I got some calls which were actually almost getting me to think, should I enter in or out? But at that moment, you have to work out and know what to do so that you give priority to what is at stake. So it's important for us to be disciplined, and to be radical and to choose the right part over the other.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. And of course, sometimes if it's something that must happen, you can explain, you can communicate.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that the one you are dealing with is reasonable enough.
Yes.
But again, when it becomes a habit, then you know you have lost it. Because you cannot be trusted.
I think, Apostle, it's good to talk to our families.
Yes.
Especially our wives. Because I think talking about balance, sometimes we can be very hard on men.
Yes.
And that's what happens most times. So, talking to a woman somewhere, a wife, a mother, your husband. And it's not like, this is a habit, but something came up. Please understand him. Don't be too hard on him.
Yes.
Sometimes you can make a radical choice to go and pick the business because you have this family in mind.
Yes.
Some choices we make as men may not be very popular. But if you come to the space of this man, he will explain and help you understand this decision I made is for you.
Right.
And for my kids. It may be painful now, but it will bear fruits. The challenge is explaining and helping your wife and your kids to understand why did you do what you did.
Yeah.
The temptation is that sometimes we become arrogant and proud.
Forceful.
And you don't explain in an easy way where you can help them understand. That's the only mistake that can happen. But sometimes not choosing a deal over your family, but choosing that deal thinking about this family. So there are sacrifices in balancing. There are sacrifices. I think we need to bring that across.
Yeah.
Right.
There are sacrifices that comes with balancing. So it's not only from the man, it's the entire family.
Yeah.
If it is left to the man, then we will always have problems.
Wow.
And we will always have something about the man, that this man is not this man is not this. And what that does is that it injures the man. It slows down the man.
Yeah.
So the man begins to feel that these people don't appreciate the sacrifices I make.
Right.
So in balancing sacrifice from the man to the rest of the members of the family, it's required intentionally.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can trust the leadership of that man.
That's it.
Right.
Trust his leadership, because again, if you don't trust him, it doesn't matter what he says.
Yes.
You cannot bank on his word. But again, as a man, I also think it's a call to duty that we must also prove ourselves.
Yeah.
Apostle Charles, what happens like when a man does a mistake in terms of something that he was warned? A good example is we had agreed as a family that we are investing this money in buying this thing.
Yes.
We are buying a plot.
Yes.
But again, that's what we have. In fact, we have been saving. The wife is, your spouse is in business or in employment, and You have been able even to secure some loans, some finance. And this money was particularly for this thing. Then as a man, you make your own judgment because there's a deal here. And even without communication, because even if you communicate, she will not agree. You know that happens. As a man, I think that sounds familiar. Even if I tell her, she will not agree. So let me do it and surprise her. Because
surprises.
Thank you.
How do we balance the surprises?
Yes.
And what happens when the surprise goes sour?
Now, I think the entire scenario there is laden with a lot of mysteries which are not good. I think, like he said, is something very good. If you know your wife and she knows you, I think you should not be hesitant. You should not be hesitant in sharing what you want to do. And sometimes, I want to tell men, our wives are very intelligent.
Yes.
They may even give you a better way around the same thing you are struggling with.
Yes.
If only you speak, like he said in the beginning. Men don't like talking. They like doing things undercover. And now the surprise now becomes a worse surprise because the money went or the thing did not materialize. And what you're saying is a practical case.
Yes.
There are families that went through a very bad phase because of that. A man taking the family money, investing in some other ventures, and it did not come. So there was a big mess. And the worst part of it is that the family was not aware. The difference is this: if the family is aware beforehand, is that you co-own the decision.
Yes.
The loss now is for all of
family.
you. It's a family we decided, we agreed. Now, what of now, on the other hand? What if you succeed and it comes out okay? Maybe I should ask ourselves, what happens?
There's no case there. When things are okay, there's no case. In fact, I trust you. I know you make the best decisions. In fact, that is what I saw when I first met you.
Right.
You are this shrewd guy. But when things fail,
Yes.
the weight goes to the man.
Right.
And the question here is, how do I gain? How do I get back my trust? Now that I have already failed. Someone trusted me, but I have not proved myself.
First and foremost, the beginning of all repentance is taking responsibility. Acknowledging that I made a mistake.
Yes.
And if your wife knows you or your partner knows you, because it could also be the lady who made an investment of that nature using chama money, hoping to surprise you that I have bought a plot, but it goes wrong. Taking responsibility and proving that you are actually doing this out of goodwill.
Yeah.
Then look for a way out. What is the way out of this scenario? If it was a plot we were to buy, maybe what will happen is that we'll delay maybe by a year or two as you recover from the losses. But it is important to agree to be vulnerable. Men, the traditional men were told, I don't know, they were told never to say sorry.
Yes.
And never to apologize, and others I hear they are told not even to say "I love you." It is a weakness.
Yes.
Those kind of things are not realities. They are misplaced. So take responsibility, agree to confess, and own up the mistake, and then begin from there to recover. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Pastor Rock.
Yes.
We are just about to conclude. I want you to talk to a man whose wife is complaining, because for him the problem is not. I want you to look at those two cases, these two scenarios. One, a man is always there. In fact, he has what we call the blessing of the presence. The man is always around anytime. He is not an aggressive man out there in the marketplace. He is always there at home around the wife, And the wife is complaining that this man anashidanga hapa. Why can't you be like other men? Go out there. Because all the weight is now on the woman. The woman is paying rent, the woman is paying school fees, but the man is just around. All right? Another woman is, this man he pays rent, he gives us money, but he is never there. Talk to those two.
Amazing. You know, Apostle Joe,
Yes.
if, for example, us who we are in Christ, we must appreciate one thing that is called grace. I want to advance this conversation and I will explain this. We must learn to extend grace.
Yes.
This is what I mean. In this realm of men, you can't have everything.
Yeah.
You will not have everything. And many people are dying because they want to have everything.
Yes.
We are not sufficient. So this is it. Appreciate the dimension that is working in your spouse
At that particular moment.
before we talk about the other thing. This man, is he available? Number one is a blessing.
Wow.
Appreciate that one before you start complaining. The approach, the approach is what brings challenges. So the man is available. Why is he available all the time? Okay, the point is, the man could not be working. Maybe he doesn't have a job. But he would have decided not to be available. So the man doesn't have maybe work, but he has decided, because I am not working, I will be here for my family. It's a contribution. It must be appreciated. There is this other man who is busy working and is not available. It's a contribution, number one, that should be appreciated. After acknowledging the grace that is working at this particular time in my spouse, then let's talk about how to get to the next level. Okay, this man is available. Number one is a blessing. So how do we get this man working and available? So don't just trash the fact that this man is available, is not providing. So it becomes like a curse. It's not a curse. Number one is a blessing. The man, there are so many people actually who are not doing anything and they are not available for their families.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So appreciate your spouse, number one. Number two, let's try to help each other. I've realized we all have different abilities. Your wife could be even earning more than you. It's a blessing. Don't fight her. See that as a blessing. Know the intentions. Number one, my intentions are good. It's not that I don't want to work. For now, maybe I don't have something. So appreciate as we look for a job.
Wow.
This other guy who is providing for his family is a blessing. So let's help him be available.
Wow.
I think that's with this.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow. Maybe because of I think our time is so much gone, and I just it's a conversation that we can continue having, but I want to give an opportunity to Apostle Charles to maybe say your last words as you talk to that man. And
We can only make it through by grace. We know we are overwhelmed. We have a lot of demands. We have a lot of challenges. Sometimes money is scarce. The budgets are higher, or the expenses are higher than we can meet. But that is not the end of all things. Face them, be courageous, have faith in God, trust, you believe in yourself, and be able to take one day at a time. Much more so, love your family, be present, be a provider, be a protector, be the priest in your home, and be the prophet in your house. God bless you so much.
wow,
Thank you.
Thank you. Rock, kindly.
Like I said, my name is Pastor Rock. I'm pastoring a church called Life City Chapel in Ruaka, Gasharage Junction. And tomorrow from Thursday, that is, tomorrow, We would be having Advanced Summit 2024 every day from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And on Sunday, we are going to be having a launch of the same. I want to extend my invitation to all my viewers and my friends, and God is going to bless you. Please come, connect with us on Facebook, Rock Peter, and God is going to bless you in a great way.
Wow, and that is Man Unveiled. Tonight, God bless you. See you next time, Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you. Shalom.